Chris, thank you for joining us. It's a huge honor.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get into this. 1995, Mortal Kombat hits theaters. How did you get involved into this project, and what was your first day on the set like?
Well, I got involved in the project almost by accident, actually, and I had done some smaller budget movies. I kind of got bit by the acting and action bug at a young age, and the opportunity came to be a part of Mortal Kombat. And my agent called me and said, "Hey, they're casting for background fighters in this." He didn't really know what Mortal Kombat was, and for this thing called Mortal Kombat, it's about a video game. I go, "Oh my god, I love that game!" And when I used to play it like TJ was telling me before we started. Was I played all the time at the arcades. So you used to have to go to this place called an arcade, and you used to have to put this thing called a quarter into a machine to play these games. It's for your younger listeners who grew up only on video consoles. But yeah, I love the game so much, I would drive 20 minutes to go play it, and my two favorite characters were Raiden and Scorpion, in that order. Nowadays, of course, that's flipped, but I love those two characters, and I knew all their moves. I had it dialed in. So I was like, yeah, man, I'll be in this movie. It'd be totally cool. I don't care. Background, whatever. So we go to the audition for it, and Larry Kasanoff, the producer, to his credit, he wanted real martial artists in there. So he had a room full of martial artists. And they told us all the roles had been cast, but they're looking for background fighters in the scene, like where Goro fights Art Lean. They needed background fighters in Goro versus Johnny Cage. They just wanted, fit martial artists to be in this thing. So I was like, cool. And they go, just come out and do some of your stuff and show us what you can do. So they had it set up like in this big square. And at the time, I was on the professional competition tour. I was the #1 competitor in the country. And so it was set up like a competition ring. So for me, I was like, great, it's easy. So I'm out there and I'm doing some moves. And as I'm about halfway through my routine, they have like 3 people sitting in chairs. And I realized, well, sitting down, they're only about 3 feet tall. So I'm pretty sure I could clear those guys. So I do some more moves and I run right towards them and I do like a jumping sidekick over the top of these guys that are sitting in these chairs. Because I wanted to do something different that would help me stand out, because there was a bunch of people in the room. So and I just remember watching their heads kind of like go like this in slow motion, just looking backwards. And I did a couple moves on the other side of them. I dove back over them and finished. That night I get a phone call. It says, "Hey, we want you to come back." And I'm like, cool, all right. So I go back now, same room, but a much smaller group of people. And they have us do some weapon stuff. So I do some weapon stuff. And I leave, get a phone call that night. It says, "Hey, we want you to come back again." So now I call my agent and I'm like, it is super hard to get into an A-level movie. This is my 3rd audition for background. And he's like, I don't know why, just go back, see what it is. So I go back and now there's me and just 2 other guys. There's 3 of us. And they have a 35 millimeter Panavision camera and they're filming us. There's a whole bunch of people behind the camera. I don't know anybody. I'm nervous. The guys on each side of me, they don't know what's going on either. And they said, just stand there, we want to film you. And I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there and then a guy walks over and goes, "Hey, would you guys mind taking off your shirts?" And now I'm kind of a smart ass and I'm also nervous. So I look at the guy and go, "Listen, if you'll get me in this movie, I'll go back to your trailer." So see, you guys laugh, and that was the reaction I was hoping for. But this guy just looked at me stone faced, and I thought, well, whatever this is, I just really screwed it up, and I'm never going to be in this movie. So we take our shirts off, and I'm in great shape. I look to my left, the guy on my left, he's not in that great of shape. The guy on my right, he's in okay shape. And I'm flexing, but I'm trying to not flex. You get that hold your breath thing and like try. Yep. So they're still filming us, and it seems like forever. It was probably maybe 15 seconds. And they go into this little football huddle behind the camera. And the same guy who had asked us to take our shirts off earlier walks over, he shakes my hand and goes, "Welcome to Mortal Kombat. You're going to be Scorpion." And so until that moment, I had no idea that the role was open. And to this day, they won't tell me if it was open or not, or if they were just looking for someone and they didn't want to. I was just glad that they didn't tell me that any of the roles were open, because I'd have been nervous. Maybe I wouldn't have done what I did. But yeah, right place, right time, right opportunity. And I kind of kicked open that door and rock and rolled with Scorpion.
Nice.
I can only imagine. Just hearing you're going to be Scorpion, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, so
Keep
the
it
cool
cool. Keep
part
it cool.
was like it didn't. Yeah, I was keeping it cool, and it didn't really hit me till I put my hand on the door to leave. Like I was walking out of this soundstage where they were doing the auditions, and I put my hand on the door to turn the doorknob, and all of a sudden I got this big like Joker ear to ear grin on my face, and I couldn't stop smiling. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever!" So I get home and I call my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, guess what? I'm going to be Scorpion." She goes, "That's great, honey. What's a scorpion?" She thought I was going to be like a soap opera star, like Scorpio in Days of Our Lives. No, Scorpion. It's a video game character.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, what's a video game?
And my mom's not even into video games, and she knows who Scorpion is. So like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I mean, when you found out that you were Scorpion, obviously you were happy, but if you could just kind of wind it back, would there be another Mortal Kombat character that you would like? Oh, I would love to be, or was it just Scorpion? Awesome, that's what I want.
Yeah, people have asked me that question before, and looking back on it, the answer is no. Scorpion was my guy. He was the guy I played in the game, and there's no way I was going to be Raiden because Christopher Lambert is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Highlander fan, and I don't look like Johnny Cage because they were looking for like a kind of a Van Damme-ish type of thing. So Scorpion was my guy. So to have that opportunity and be able to play that part, like it was a big deal for me. It was a big honor, and I wanted to do justice to the character.
Oh, and
Awesome.
and you did. Like, I would have to say your walkout on screen as Scorpion with Sub-Zero going through the door, it's probably the coldest entrance ever. Like, how did that scene come about?
Well, it was written into the script.
Well, yeah.
But the funny thing was that the order of the way that we come in, Francois and I kept fighting about it. And we shot a couple different takes of it. And there was one of them, which I wish they would show at some point, where we kind of tried to walk through the door together and our shoulders hit the side of the door of the boat. So it was, who's going first? Who's going first? But yeah, it was written that way. And Paul Anderson, the director, is such a good visionary with cinematography and how he wanted different things to look. So we just really followed his direction. And it came out pretty well.
Oh,
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
and the music, like as soon as your hand, like the hand comes through the door, and the music hits, I still get goosebumps to this day because TJ and I have watched it back many of times, and it's still hair stand up goosebumps.
Yeah, really, it was the perfect storm of the right movie at the right time with the right soundtrack, because that techno driven soundtrack really helped sell the movie a lot, especially the songs in the fight scenes. So it was like I said, a perfect storm.
And you just owned it. Like coming in, like it just you could feel that aura from both of you walking through the door. And you're like, oh, these I do not want to mess with these two. Like this is trouble, and you just owned it. Just like literally just a champion coming through. Like y'all little, you're small fry. You're not even up to this level. Sit down. um, so I have a question in regards to just how did you come up with the choreography as far as the iconic scene, just literally like this? Like, is that something that you improvised, or was that part of the choreography?
That was not part of the choreography. It was 100% improvised. When we were in the forest in Thailand shooting that opening scene, Larry Kasanoff and the director walked over to me and they said, "Hey, so you're not going to have a spear, you're going to have a creature." And I go, "Okay." And they brought me like a model of it, which I have somewhere in one of my cases, but I still have the little mock-up model of it. And they said, "This is the creature. This is what it looks like. So what would you do if you were going to shoot this out of your hand?" And fortunately, being a martial artist, I got a million moves. So I said, "Well, let's just try something like where I just kind of wind up my hands and bring it back and set." And they go, "Oh my God, that's great." And I go, "Great." So then that was the easy part. The hard part was sitting there for 5 minutes because they have to do a thing called a plate shot. And I can't move. Now, we're in a bamboo sorry, not bamboo, a yeah, I think it was banana tree plantation in Thailand. But you know who else likes banana trees? Cobras. And they're all over the place. They had to have a crew of people go through with fire sticks to scare the snakes away. And you could hear them slithering in the underbrush. You could hear them. So I'm sitting there. They scared them all away, and they go, and action. And I wind up and I get set in my position, and they go, don't move. And then all of a sudden I hear slithering, and I'm like, oh my God, if I get bit by a cobra, I'm going to die here in Thailand. I'm never going to see anyone again. So I'm sitting there, they're like, don't move, don't move, don't move. I'm like, okay. And then finally they yell, cut. And I freaking ran. I'm like, I'm out of here.
That is hilarious.
He kept his cool with it.
For the scene, I kept my cool. As soon as they said cut, I was uncool.
When you and Johnny Cage have your battle midway through the movie, you and Johnny Cage had the most, I think, fireworks as you guys worked the best together. Did you guys improvise any of that, or did you guys just were you guys just on the same page, same storm, same everything with that?
Yeah, listen, I give a lot of credit to Lyndon Ashby, who played Johnny Cage, because he really wanted to do justice to Cage, and he was not a martial artist. Really great actor, not a martial artist. In pre-production, he was taking martial arts lessons. He was learning how to do the moves and the techniques. And then when we met on set, and he's like, hey man, you're a real martial artist. I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. And he's like, well, let's work together. So him and I practiced a lot. We spent probably a month and a half every day of rehearsing and working. So none of it was improvised. Pat Johnson was our fight coordinator, and he had done all the Ninja Turtle movies, all the Karate Kid movies. Like he's in that era, he was the fight coordinator for action movies in cinema. And one of his great things is he gives you a lot of freedom. And he goes, listen, you wouldn't be on this film if you weren't good. So you've got moves and techniques that you want to do. Just here's how the fight's supposed to go. And he would let us rehearse and create stuff. And then he'd come back and go, okay, this is going to work for camera. This isn't going to work. Change this, change that. So it was really cool to work with him because he allowed me to put my stuff in it. But again, since I was a fan of the game, I'm like, all right, this is Scorpion's move. This has to be in it. This has to be in it. This has to be in it. So I kind of went down the list of the things, and it all worked out. So, and Lyndon, the cool thing about Lyndon is after the movie wrapped, like we became really good friends, and he trained with me for 2 years after the movie wrapped. He didn't have to. He didn't go on to another martial arts film. He just went on to different movies and stuff, but he fell in love with the martial arts, and he just kept going, trained with me for, like I said, for 2 years afterwards. So it was a great experience, and had a great time.
You get to be trained by Scorpion? Like, what? That's so cool. I mean, that is mind blowing. But that brings up another question. So I've listened to a few other interviews that you've done, and you've been in a few other movies. You've been in Blade, and you've worked with a lot of actors. And I'm just curious, were there any that you were just like you had the most fun with? I mean, obviously they all were great, but you just when you went into it, you're like, oh wow, it's been really fun working with him. Like it's not what I expected. Are there any actors that you just like?
Yeah, so you hear about a lot of horror stories on the sets of this guy was an asshole, this guy was a jerk, and things like that. I've been very fortunate, and I don't know if it's because people like know I'm a black belt and they don't want to mess with me, or I've just been on some really good sets. I like to think I've just been on some really good sets, and I try and be a kind and respectful person. But listen, I don't have any horror stories like that. All the people, like, listen, I got to work with Wesley Snipes in Blade. Like, I got to fight with Wesley Snipes, who's a real black belt and real legit. And listen, that was cool. I got to fight Chuck Norris for real, not for real, but on movie, but in Walker, Texas Ranger. But one of my favorite things was like in that time, I was a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and I got to wear the bat suit as Batman. I was George Clooney's double in Batman and Robin. Whenever you see him punch or kick, that's not him, that's me. And so we're in the full outfit, and we're in the ice area, and I have to do because we're getting ready to do a fight scene. But Arnold Schwarzenegger's in the Mr. Freeze outfit, and I'm fully Batmaned up, and we're about to do something. And we're waiting for the cameras and stuff to get set up. But Arnold thinks I'm George Clooney because him and I are the same height. We have the exact same chin, apparently, according to the director, Joel Schumacher. And so he's standing there and he's talking to me, and I'm not saying a word because I realize about 30 seconds in, he thinks I'm George Clooney. And apparently they had gone out to dinner the night before. And so he's talking about the dinner and what a great time. And I'm just nodding my head and like every once in a while, just kind of not saying any words. And after a couple of minutes, the director walks over and goes, "Arnold, you know that's not George, right?" And I cannot do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, so forgive me. But he's like, "Why didn't you say anything?" And I was like, "Man, I was just excited to be here talking to you. I'm a big fan."
The exact reaction I would have.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. So, being cast as Scorpion in the first Mortal Kombat film, were you supposed to be in Annihilation, or was it just?
Here's a fun fact: I was the first one cast in Annihilation. The problem was, I had already committed to Batman because in the time that Mortal Kombat came out, I got the call, "Hey, they think you're going to be good for Batman," and I'm like, "Batman? That's it was $110 million project, something again, a huge thing. I'd never worked on a movie like that, and like, do you want to be Batman?" I'm like, hand up, yes, please. I can't wait to do it. Like literally, I'm one of maybe 25 people on the planet that's ever worn the actual batsuit, right? So it was a 3-month shoot, and I had it blocked out. It was April, May, and June, and then Larry called and said, "Hey, we're doing Mortal Kombat 2. You're Scorpion. Don't even worry about it." I'm like, "Cool." And he goes, "We're going to shoot July, August, September." I go, "Perfect." 6 months. I go, Batman, Mortal Kombat 2. Awesome. I'm dialed in. So then, of course, in Hollywood, what happens is schedules change, things get delayed, things get pushed around, and all of a sudden the Batman project got pushed into July. Mortal Kombat didn't move, and now I had to make a choice. So I had already given my first word to the Batman and Warner Brothers, and so I called Larry, and I'm like, "Hey, man, listen, I committed to them. They moved the time." And he goes, "Chris, don't worry about it. We're going to do other Mortal Kombat stuff. You're our guy. We got you." So he was really cool about it. Because I thought he was going to be super pissed at me, and he was disappointed, but he understood. He knows the business, right? He's a producer. He's a big deal in Hollywood, so he knows how the business works. So yeah, it was kind of a bummer. But then looking back on it, I kind of dodged a bullet there, not being an Annihilation, because that one didn't quite do the justice that it should have done to the franchise.
It didn't. Like, I don't even know what it was. Was it lack of budget? Like something went wrong somewhere.
It was missing him.
It was missing.
It was missing
It was
Chris.
missing me. It was missing Raiden. It was missing Johnny
Yeah.
Cage, and a different Sonya too, if I recall.
Yes.
Yeah, it was different Sonya.
If you don't bring back the OG cast to continue the story, it's kind of hard. And I think the other thing that Annihilation stumbled with was they brought everyone. Like there was 97 characters in that thing, and you couldn't keep up with. Well, who's this? Who's this? What? Cyrex? Where the fuck Cyrex come from? Like it's like,
Yeah.
what happened to our guys? So, I think they just got a little too ambitious on that one, and the audience kind of spoke and said, "Hey, we don't like this one."
Yeah, and we still talk about it to this day.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But taking that and asking a follow-up question is, how do you, being the OG Scorpion, how do you feel about today's storytelling, today's Mortal Kombat? Also, just how Scorpion is being portrayed. Is this something where you're like, "I'm proud with it, I like the way they're going," or is this something where you're like, you guys are kind of deviating from, the core? What is your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, whenever they reboot a franchise, they want to try something different, and listen, the first of the new ones that came out was like the second Annihilation. Everybody was like, "What the hell did we just watch? Who is this new Cole character?" Like, the fans again spoke, and so they fixed it up in the second one. I was fortunate enough to get invited to the premiere. So again, with the second one, they brought the OG cast to the premiere because they knew the fan backlash from the first one was pretty intense. And it did okay at the box office, but they were like, something's missing. And everybody was like, "You got to have," so we got invited to the premiere, which was cool. And the second one, I think, was a lot better than the first one. And it was more along the lines of the video game. Because again, that's what happened, right? With Annihilation, and these are my opinions, they're not facts, but with Annihilation, they deviated from what was going on in the current game. It was like Mortal Kombat 3 or 4, I think, was out at that time when the second movie came out. And the same thing now with the timeline that Mortal Kombat has. This first movie really had nothing to do with what was going on in the game. So all the gamers that wanted to go see the movie, like they saw the original, didn't, and that's what they were upset about. But with the second one that just came out, I think they did a much better job of bringing it back towards gameplay, and the
Yes.
fight scenes, of course, were much better. I think they did it. They did a really good job. The thing that a lot of fans are saying now, and I hear all the time, and there's some whispers about it in the business, and that is potentially doing a multiverse of Mortal Kombat, which again now aligns with the game. Because my skin, my 95 skin, hell, I'm in Fortnite, right? So my skin is everywhere. So I think it's maybe time to get it back in the movie, and that would be a good like full circle moment to kind of crystallize the whole franchise.
Ooh, he hit my next question on that one was, are we going to get OG Scorpion back to kind of, take that belt back? Like, look, there's not another Scorpion. I'm the real one.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, and I'll tell you this based on what happened in the first movie. The answer is you'll get original Scorpion back if you speak loud enough. The fans, they listen to you. They don't seem to listen to you, but they do, because they know you're the guys and girls that are going to pay to go see the movie in the theater, which is what they want. So if the fans are loud enough, they're going to get what they want. Here's the case in point. The original cut of Mortal Kombat, the very first movie, the fight scene with me and Johnny Cage was one move. Because we ran out of time. We were in Thailand for 3 weeks. They didn't shoot our scene until the last day. It was a 2-week long shoot. They tried to put it in one day. It was never going to happen because all the special effects shot with the plates and the creature. So the part where he's running at me and he does that jumping sidekick, in the original cut of the film, that hits me and supposedly kills me. That was it. Me and Lyndon were pissed. We had a whole fight scene worked out, and we couldn't do it, and we were bummed out. So they go back to test screenings, and they bring in audiences. And that moment happens. And Larry Kazanoff called me on the phone, and he goes, Chris, when Johnny kicks you and kills you, the people in the audience stood up, threw their popcorn at the screen, and walked out. And he goes, it didn't happen once. It happened 3 or 4 times. We need to reshoot your scene. And I was like, I told you. In my head. I didn't say that to Larry. I didn't say that to Larry. I said in my head, I told you. And I was like, okay, sir, no problem. I'm happy. Just tell me where and when. We'll be there. We'll shoot the scene. And so they built Scorpion's lair inside of an airport hangar. That's all real. What you see there is not CGI, because this was before they had the ability to do that. They built an entire world in there, which was so cool. And Lyndon and I actually ended up fighting. We were 20 feet in the air on a platform that's real. And we're going toe-to-toe up on that platform that's no wider than a dining room table. But
Wow.
all that happened because of the fans. So anybody listening to your show, if you want us to get that full circle moment, you have to let Warner Brothers know. You have to let Simon McCoy know. You've got to let the people that are involved with the current project know. And if you're loud enough, anything can happen.
I'm definitely going to cut this clip out and post it all over my social media.
Oh, I'm telling people, I'm yelling it out my window when we're done.
So one of the things that stuck out to me from the first film was Scorpion's eyes. Was that all, like, was the contact all, like, your entire eye?
The contact was my entire eye. Nowadays, I don't need it anymore because they can CGI those in. But yeah, it was probably it was the only thing I didn't like about the whole production, because those things hurt to be in because they were as big as my entire eye, and it took 3 people to put them in my eye. Someone had to pull my top lid up, someone had to pull my bottom lid down, and a third person would pop them in. I can only keep them in for a couple hours, and essentially I was blind. It was like being in London at midnight in the worst fog storm that you could be in. I could make out silhouettes a couple feet away, but that was it.
And you had to fight in those?
I had to fight in those, but again, I give credit to Lyndon and Pat, because we practiced so much that I could have done that fight scene blindfolded, because I kind of did.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
That is absolutely wild.
Wow. I would never have known that.
Me either. That is absolutely wild.
But now I waited, and I'm going to come out with it. So your most iconic line, get over here. If I don't recall correctly, like, that wasn't your voice. That was dubbed over, correct?
Yeah. Listen, this is where, again, they got it right. They knew fans of the video game were used to hearing that. Me saying it kind of sounds like it, but Ed Boon, the creator of the game who did that voice, that's his voice. So I was saying it while we were doing the parts of the movie, but it's through a mask. You can't. You're muffled through there. I mean, I had the easiest dialogue in the world. I had like 11 words. Get over here, get down here, and welcome. That's it. Like,
Loved
did you
him.
rehearse your script? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got my words.
He pulls out a post-it note. All right,
Yeah.
got it. Throws
Yeah.
the post-it
Can I
note.
get
I'm
a
good.
Can I get a card behind the camera, like a little card to read in case I forget my 3 words? But yeah.
And just like that, his character lives in infamy. Everyone just knows, and he's like, "Man, this was nothing. This all I have to do for a legacy. Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah, well, listen. The thing is, you don't. I'm so excited, like, to be on this show, and for people 30 years later to be talking about Mortal Kombat. It means the world to me, and because it really validates what we did. You never know when you go do a movie. Like, I've done some movies that have tanked, right? You try and do your best job and your best work. The audience either responds or it doesn't. For whatever reason, what we did responded with audiences and still does. We're on our second generation of fans, right? TJ, I got guys like you that bring me their kids. Like, my kid loves your character, and as soon as he was 8 years old, he started watching. I'm like, maybe wait a couple of years longer, but like whatever. So I'm meeting kids of kids, which is even cooler now because the film's become a cult classic, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, it was the first ever VHS tape I actually purchased.
I hear that a lot.
I went to an actual Blockbuster, paid the $37 for it because you know how Blockbuster jack the prices up to stuff. But since you've watched all the new Mortal Kombat films, if you were in charge of changing anything, what would you change?
I don't know that I would change anything. I would just add, like, I think a multiverse type thing for the video game, the way the video game is now, to align that with the movie. I think that's the next move, but I have no power to make any of that happen. That's really up to the fans and up to Warner Brothers at this point.
Would you give the new Scorpion your outfit to make it
No.
to base? No.
No. What would be cool? Here's what I'd like to see. However they get the two nether realms together, right? Me and Scorpion have a fight. We start off as enemies, and then we end up as friends to join forces to beat whatever bad guy they put in front of us. I think that would be a cool type of moment, you know?
I'm waiting.
Because then you get a Scorpion versus Scorpion fight, and then you get 2 Scorpions versus whoever.
Where do I sign?
I'm gonna need that.
I can fund it myself. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
need
gonna.
about $55 million to make that happen.
Oh, that's nothing.
It's nothing.
Chump change. So, you've been in martial arts since you've been small, like young.
Mhm.
Did you have any? Were there any either characters, actors, masters that served as inspiration for you, where you're just like, I need to be just like him, or I want to be better than him, anything like that?
Well, yeah, of course. Listen, my dad was my instructor. He was my hero, and to this day, he's the guy that founded our system and style of martial arts, Red Dragon Karate, back in 1965. So we're kind of a legacy company, and so my dad went through all the ups and downs of not only martial arts but being an entrepreneur in itself. So I had a ringside seat to all of that. I had some great coaches along the way, including a gentleman by the name of Steve Fisher, who really helped me with my fighting ability. I got to be really good friends with Pat Johnson, who was the fight coordinator for all the films I mentioned before. So I've had a lot of good mentors and references along the way, and that's really served me well in my journey. And guys, listen, I've had a blast, but I just looked at my clock and I realized I've got another interview I got to bounce over to here in a minute.
All good.
All good.
We can wrap it up now. Are you
Okay.
on Instagram or anything?
I am everywhere. I'm the easiest guy in the world to find on social media.
So I'll probably add your social media to this and tag you in it when this drops on next Tuesday.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Life goal. Thank you, my man. Oh my gosh.
Right on, man. Had a blast, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, see ya.